Hi, my name is Melissa van Dijk, and in this video you will learn how to properly use the ordinary alpha-arbutin and azelaic acid suspension in the same routine. And yes, you can also use them together, they have no problems with each other, and it also can help you with targeting your dark spots if you have hyperpigmentation, if you want to have a little bit more of an even and brighter skin tone, as well as smoother skin texture. Now, if those are your skin concerns, using those two products in your routine is also a great combination. And they can also be used daily in the morning and or evening, depending on your preference and your skin needs. And I'm also going to show you exactly how you can properly layer them, how much you need to use of them, as well as what you can use before and after the application of alpha-arbutin and azelaic acid. Now, before we're getting started, I do want to remind you, please don't forget step number 1, which is also washing your face with a suitable cleanser for your skin needs. And if you have a favorite one at home, go ahead and use that one if you truly love that one and it also does the job for your skin needs as well as feels comfortable for your skin tone. Then this is definitely the right one. It also can help you to remove any excess oil, dirt, leftovers of your makeup as well as leftovers of your sunscreen, so that you also have a freshly washed and clean face before moving on to the next step. Now, I have already washed my face and some was already for the application. Now, when it comes to setting up a skincare routine, you can keep it fairly simple, and after you have washed your face, move on to alpha-arbutin and azelaic acid, and that's basically it. That's totally fine. However, if you want to include a toner or leave-on exfoliant or maybe also a moisturizer, then it's also important to know the right order of application. And it always starts off with step number 1. That's a step that won't change. Please don't forget to wash your face. Then you're moving on to step number 2, which is of course optional. This would be your toner. Step number 3 would be your leave-on exfoliant. Then you're going to move on to your serum. Then you're also going to move on to your moisturizer in case you want to include one. And then you can also move on to the azelaic acid suspension. And if you're using it in the morning, please don't forget your sunscreen as your last step. So this would be kind of the order of application which you have to keep in mind. Also, go with the texture, from the thinnest texture to the thickest texture, which is also something that can help you to properly layer the products. Now, I do also want to talk about the toner as well as leave-on exfoliant. Now also, when including a toner, you have one at home that you truly love and want to use, of course go ahead and include a toner as your second step if you like so. If you also want to use a leave-on exfoliant and you do not have a sensitive skin type, you can also go ahead and use this leave-on exfoliant in your skincare routine, which is of course fine to use. However, when it comes to azelaic acid does also have a few conflicts, which are also the conflicts that are written on the ordinary website. But I also do want to be very specific when also seeing now the different products, because it also depends on your skin tolerance as well as if you have resistant or sensitive skin. Now, in general, here you can also see the list. Those are basically the products that you should not be using in the same routine when using azelaic acid. Please also keep in mind that the peptides, like when using an acid with peptides, it basically can cancel each other out, which is also really important to note. So please do not use any peptides in the same routine when using azelaic acid, nor EUK, which is also an antioxidant of the ordinary product like line, as well as their acids, which also includes the mask and their leave-on exfoliants. Now, you can, however, include a leave-on exfoliant if you do not have a sensitive skin type, which is something that you also have to keep in mind. You may also want to try it out and see if it works before you're going to include it on a daily basis in your skincare routine. So this is something that you have to keep in mind. You can use a leave-on exfoliant as your third step, but when having also a sensitive skin type, I do not recommend using it, as this also may irritate the skin. Now, in case you want to try out an application or you want to try out a combination which you've never used before or a new product, please always do a proper patch test before applying it all over your face and neck area to avoid any skin irritation. So now that I also covered the conflicts, talked about the sensitivity of your skin, which you also may want to use an exfoliant or not, I also want to now get started with the application of alpha-arbutin and azelaic acid. So when starting off with alpha-arbutin doesn't have any conflict, so you're fine to also include it in your skincare routine. Now, when using a serum like this, as this one can also help you to target any dark spots as well as hyperpigmentation, you can use it as a spot treatment if you like to, or use it all over your face. When using it all over your face, I recommend using between 1 to 3 drops, or you may want to use a few drops more and apply it evenly all over your face and neck area. However, if you only have a specific area that you want to target, where you have like those dark spots, or where you have like marks from your like leftovers pimples that are a little bit darker than your actual skin tone, then you can also go ahead and use those as your spot treatment. Now I'm going to show you both ways. So with alpha arbutin, if you want to use it as a spot treatment, I recommend using about 1 drop, not too much, depending on the area of course. And if 1 drop is still too much, you can also go ahead and use the other finger and basically just use a bit of it and use it on a specific area that you want to target. And this could be just a small spot and that's basically it, or it could also be a larger area. Now, as I just showed you right here with the 2 spots, this could be like your spot treatment. However, if you have, for example, a cheek where you have a little bit more of hyperpigmentation going on, you can also go with 1 drop and apply it all over your cheek area if that's an area that you also want to target. So that you also will achieve like a brightening effect on your cheek, so that it also can even out your skin tone and that those spots aren't as visible anymore. However, you still can also go ahead and use it all over your face. Either way, you're going to leave it on the skin, there's no need to wash it off. When using it all over your face and neck area, again, I recommend using between 1 to 3 drops or a bit more if you feel the need. Now I'm going to stick with 2 drops. I like to use it in the palm of my hand whenever I'm applying a serum over my entire face. I also like to rub my hands together and then start patting it into the skin on the major areas. And then once I'm done with the patting application, I'm going to start blending. And once you're done with the blending application, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. Now, when using specific treatments such as alpha arbutin and azelaic acid, you may need to use it for about 8 to 12 weeks to also see improvements. Personally, I feel like that hyperpigmentation or like treating dark spots is one of like the biggest concern, which takes quite a long time to actually also show or basically see the results. So if you really want to use them and you also want to see if it works, I recommend also taking a picture on the first day before starting off with these treatments, so that you also can see how your skin is going to improve over time. But when it comes to hyperpigmentation, to really brighten it and also even it out with the rest of your skin like tone, it really needs some time. It doesn't work like this from one day to the other day. So this is also something that you have to keep in mind when using alpha arbutin as well as azelaic acid. So this is basically how you can use alpha arbutin as a spot treatment, or also use it all over your face. Leave it on the skin, there's no need to wash it off. Now, after you're done with the application of alpha arbutin, which is your water-based serum, you now can also go ahead and move on to the next product, which in this case is also azelaic acid. Now, you can also go ahead and include, for example, an oil in between if you prefer to. This depends on your skincare routine. You would basically use the oil after you're done with the application of your water-based serum, which is alpha arbutin, but before applying azelaic acid. So this is something that you can keep in mind, because I'm not only going to follow from the thinnest to the thickest texture, but also the formulation from a water-based serum to an anhydrous solution to an oil formulation, then move on to your moisturizer and then your suspension as well as your SPF, depending on when you're using it. So since we are just going to keep the focus towards alpha arbutin and azelaic acid, now my next step, since I do not use an oil or an anhydrous solution in between, would be on my azelaic acid suspension. However, you may also wonder if you can use a moisturizer in between, and yes, you can. However, I do only recommend using a moisturizer if you really feel the need, if you have really dry skin, since the azelaic acid suspension does include a lot of silicone, which also may be enough if you're going to use it after alpha-arbutin, and that's basically it. So only use a moisturizer if you truly feel the need. If you do not feel the need, please skip it, as then it also will feel the best on the skin. However, if you want to use a moisturizer, I recommend using it before the azelaic acid suspension. So this would be the order of application. Use the alpha-arbutin, use your moisturizer, and then azelaic acid. So that you also see this like combination as well. So I'm going to skip on my moisturizer since I do not feel the need of using one, especially when also using the azelaic acid suspension. And I'm using about a pea-size amount for the entire face and neck area. And you're going to apply it similar to a moisturizer, as it has like a cream-like texture. And you're going to apply it evenly all over your face and neck. And you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. Please also make sure that when using alpha-arbutin as well as azelaic acid, do not bring it too close towards the eye area. Please also avoid any contact with eyes. In case you're having it into your, getting it into your eyes, please also rinsing it with water. Now, after you're done with the application of azelaic acid, this is already it. This could be a great PM skincare routine, for example. And if you're going to use it in the morning, don't forget, as your last step, after the azelaic acid suspension, use also a good sunscreen, which you're going to apply all over your face and neck area, as well as wherever your skin is being exposed to the sun, since azelaic acid can also make your skin sensitive to the sun. And now you can also start applying it evenly all over your face and neck area. Don't forget your ears, don't forget your eye area, like under the eyes, as well as on top. Neck, décolletage area, and the rest of your body wherever your skin is being exposed. So, and applying your sunscreen in the morning is your last step in your skincare routine. If you now want to follow it up with your makeup application, you can also go ahead and now start off with your makeup application. And that's basically it. This is also how you can use alpha-arbutin and azelaic acid in one routine. This is a great combination, again, which you can use daily in the morning and or evening. Just don't forget to follow it up with a sunscreen. And this is also what I wanted to share with you. I also do hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did so, please also don't forget to give it a thumbs up as well as share it. And yeah, I will see you soon in the next one, and happy skincaring. Bye!